What's up, guys? What's going on? Good morning, good evening, and good night. I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theologies, and we are back with the daily devotional. We got Judges chapter 8 this time, and we are reading through the Judges cycle, and we have made it to Gideon. We have made it to see how Gideon has overcome his severe, I would say grossly severe scaredy catness, because he was majorly afraid, but now he's overcome, man, and actually taken the people of Midian down. And now we're going to see him do even more as he captures, or he doesn't capture, but he's going to use his prowess and his new found confidence to talk some people up in a bad situation. So let's check it out, man. What do we see in verse chapter 8? Oh, before I continue, I want to say that what we always do is we go and talk about what's actually happened in the story. And then we talk about what is the picture of God that we see in this, the characteristics of God. Then we see man, these characteristics. And then finally we hit on how we can apply these understandings to our lives. So let's jump into it. It says chapter 8, verse 1. Then the men of Ephraim said to him, "What is this thing you have done to us, not calling us when you went to fight against Midian?" And they contended with him vigorously. But he said to them, "What have I done now in comparison with you? Is not the gleanings of the grapes of Ephraim better than the vintages of Abiezer? God has given the leaders of Midian, Orb, and Zeb into your hands. And what was I able to do in comparison with that?" Then their anger towards him subsided when he said that. So what's going on, man? What do we got going on? Well, it looks like after the Gideon and the people of Israel captured the Midianites and slayed them, it says he called upon all the people on the hills and to come down and help, and they took over the fords of the Jordan. So they captured and took over some of these areas. But the Ephraim's like, "Bro, you didn't call on me." And I wanted to help. I wanted to fight. But Gideon, being smooth, he a good smooth talker, man. He was, "Look, you've got the kings of Midian, man. I may have took down the armies, but you got their leaders." He says, "Man, God gave them into your hands." And so the people of Ephraim, it says they heard that, and they was like, "Oh, okay. You right. And they calmed down over against Gideon. So what do we see about God in this? And I think what we should see is the sovereignty of God. It says in the scriptures that Orb and Zeb were given to them by God. Like the reason in which that they were able to capture these two kings of Midian was because God gave them into their hands. God is sovereign. Matter of fact, and I don't know, but it could be the reason in which they didn't come down was because this was orchestrated by God so that they could capture these kings. So they could take down the kings of the people that were oppressing them all of these years. God is sovereign, and they recognized it. And then that goes on to me thinking about what does it say about man? Is that in the scriptures, man recognizes God's sovereign. They recognizes his power over all creation. They recognize the way he moves and woos through time, that he authors and creates in time. And I think that's something that we're missing today, So we need to recognize that. As an application now, I think that we should be remembering that God is in control. You see, we talk about trusting in Jesus more every time. And when you recognize that God is in control and that he's doing things with his control for his glory, obviously, but then for our good, if we are part of his people, then that helps us to trust him even more. And so for the application fully to say, I would say trust in him more because recognize that he is in control. And that control he has is for our good and his glory. Hey, man, thanks, guys, for listening. And, it was a short one. We'll go on to the next one, continue on the Gideon saga. And we're going to see some things, not quite like the Gideon stories that we normally see. So tune in for that.